Hey, VC, it's the Zonkman coming back at you with another video. Hello, YouTube, VC. Hope everybody's doing good. This is a contest entry. All right, if you're not familiar with Grown Man Record Night, they stream on YouTube every Friday night and chat about records and soda and chips and some other stuff. And just a good hangout. So this contest entry is for their 600 subs. They've got 600 subs, and they've been live streaming on the internet and YouTube. I forget, 8 years. 8 years. So awesome feat. And you know what? Before we get into the contest, I was just gonna talk a little bit about how I met Mikey Bananas. It's kind of unique because I'm lucky enough to live right here locally in North Carolina, where the Grown Man Record Night program is. So I'll try to not go too far off on a tangent and talk about that. So basically, I'm going to go back a little bit. I'm doing another contest video. This is probably like 2019, and I don't remember exactly when because, I was fairly new to the VC through that time period. I started making videos in June of 19. I'm doing a contest entry for Brandon, Mr. Hall of Fame. And one of the things that he tasks us to do, and I don't remember what this was for, 7,000 or 8,000 or something like that for Brandon, for his contest, and I couldn't even tell you exactly what it was, but this is the part that I remember what affected me, and we can thank Brandon for it. So Brandon wants us to go up to 3 complete strangers and ask them what their favorite band or artist is. It's people that you don't know from Adam. And doing that, one of the people I did was our waitress when me and the wife were eating somewhere. I don't even remember the other person. I would have to go back and look at my video and even see what the content was. But the third person was, I'm just going to ask somebody at the record store when I go digging. So I'm digging here in Winston-Salem, North Carolina at Underdog Records. It is a Friday night, and I believe Mrs. Zonkman is with me also, if I remember correctly. I kind of drug her along for whatever, but I didn't know Mike from anybody. We had a little bit of an exchange at the listening station there while we're running around back and forth digging records and stuff, and we might have just said something back and forth to each other, hey, what's up going on, that type of thing. And then a little bit later, we're probably both wrapping up and getting ready to check out. There's probably one person in line in front of us. And me, at that point, I was a real disorganized digger. And I always, I've got my little handful of records and I could never hold them and dig. So I'd leave them around various places or whatever. And I remember Mike was like, "Oh, Yawning Man." And I was like, oh, do you need me to get my stuff out of the way so you can dig that thing? He's like, no. I was referencing, he's like, you already, picked out that record. I said, oh, yeah. I said, do you want to get it? It was the new Yawning Man. He's like, no. If you've already dug it, that's fine. He said, but not too many people know who Yawning Man is. So we struck up a little conversation there. It's like, oh yeah, I'm kind of into that desert rock stoner, and of course the catalyst was set way back with Caius back in the day. So we talk a little bit, and then I go ahead and I'm like, well, this is the person I'm going to ask. I was like, well, can I ask you a question? And I kind of explained. He let me explain everything. Hey, Brandon, Mr. Hall of Fame. I'm in the VC. Blah blah blah. And I'm supposed to ask somebody who I don't know what their 3 favorite bands or artists are. And by this time, the the person's checked out, so the record store owners kind of pay attention to our conversation. And Mike looks at the record store owner and says, "Should I tell him?" And the record store owner, of course, Jonathan, he's like, "Yeah, you should tell him." So he goes in. I do a live stream on YouTube. I'm familiar. I know Brandon, Mr. Hall of Fame. I know we mentioned Randy at Dead Wax 66 also, and I don't remember who else. But he's like, "Yeah, I know all those VC members. You know, I've been part of the VC for 6 years or whatever it was at that point." And I was like, "Oh, okay, wow, wow, wow." And that's pretty much my story. I got to meet Mike at the record store. I had not stumbled across his channel yet. I was real early on in the VC. And so, like they say, the rest is history. I've been lucky enough to dig with Mike and Steve a couple of times. I haven't done any crate digging with Jay yet, but I did get to greet him at the airport when he came back from one of his trips. That was kind of funny because that's the first time basically introduced the Zonkman to the Curvist. But anyway, so that's my little backstory with Grown Man Record Night. For the few people that watch my channel, if you're not familiar with Grown Man Record Night, check it out. Even if you can't hang out Friday night because it's too late for you or something like that, you know, watch the stream the next day or whatever after he puts it up on YouTube, or leaves it up on YouTube, excuse me, because it is live streamed on YouTube. You know, and you can forward through bits and pieces or whatever, you know, but it's all about talking about new music, showing digs, showing what was played, that sort of thing, and then they throw in some, so to speak, and ship chat where they kind of talk about that. So it's just a good time. So let me get to the contest. I've been rambling on for way too long. It's Under the Covers is the contest, and it's 3 to 5 covers that you have bought, or 3 or 5 albums that you've bought just based on the cover. Hey man, don't judge an album by its cover, Mikey Bananas. You know that's just not right, man. You shouldn't judge an album by its cover. Okay. Well, the Zonkman doesn't really do that, especially with these times where it's just too easy to sample something, or even normally, the record store. There's a couple record stores I go to where there's a listening station still where you can throw the record on and kind of sample it for yourself, you know, right there in the store. So, and then I've watched some of these videos supporting this contest for Grown Man Record Night, and they talk about albums that they bought as a kid not knowing what it was that were like epic albums, and I don't remember any of that. So the Zonkman was always swayed by a person or the radio or MTV or whatever. My buddies I'm hanging out with, hey, you need to listen to this. And I don't remember buying a lot of stuff like that. I'm going to show 3 here real quick. And let's knock it out. Okay, first one, By the Cover Only. Had no idea who this artist was. Definitely didn't know this album. Sailcat, Motorcycle Mama. We'll watch the glare on there. This is cool. Dude's got this motorcycle. Got his family in the sidecar. This looks pretty cool. It's even a gatefold. Got this artwork is actually Jack Davis. I'm not familiar with his artwork, but he did the artwork for the cover and the artwork for the gatefold. And these cats here have no idea still who they are. Court Pickett and John Weicker. And this music is kind of country rock, blues country-ish kind of sound, and not really too southern rock. But this was recorded in Muscle Shoals. These cats were down in that Alabama scene in the early 70s, which I don't remember from the late 60s and early 70s how long before it kind of wasn't as popular. I don't know the whole story on Muscle Muscle Shoals. But this was a one and done album. These two guys got together, did this, did some singles, and then kind of broke up. It's kind of, it's kind of all right. Nothing really blew me away. Next one, you got to check out this album cover. Shooting Star. Hang on for your life. Now, what's cooler than a motorcycle? Wouldn't everybody want to jump a motorcycle through their bedroom? I mean, that's just awesome. So, of course, I had to grab this. There's the bedroom wrecked after the motorcycle came through. This is like hard rock, pop rock, early 80s, 1981 on this album. They did put out a few albums, but this is pretty good. This is pretty good. And the third one, I had a hard time. Like, how am I going? I don't even remember what records I bought just based on the album cover. So Sunday, when I was digging, I'm talking about just a couple of days ago, I picked something up to do this contest for this contest. I said that is exactly picking up the album cover just by that alone. We've got some skulls, some mushrooms, some crystal going on here, some spacey kind of stuff here. There's some kind of creature's eye lurking at you. This looks like stoner rock, man. This is it. Just pick it up. You don't even have to listen, sample, nothing. And the name of the band is Modulator 2. There's nothing written on this front cover either. It's Modulator 2, Slivered Hearse. I have no idea what that means, but that sounds cool. And me making this video today, I still have not spun this record. So I'm still waiting to see what type of music this is going to be. I did do a little bit of research. This is a trio out of France. Yeah. It's on, what was this record label? Stolen Body Records. That's kick-ass too, man. So that's all I'm going to do there. 3 records that you bought for the album cover alone. And hope everybody's doing well. Thank you, Mikey Bananas, Steve Fever, Jay the Curbist. Y'all check out Grown Man Record Night. The Zonkman wants to see you there in the chat room. Chatting up, at least if you can, pop in, say hi, and we'll see you at Grown Man Record Night, man. Peace. Thanks.